Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Yvonne from Ginger Chick Rehab. I am so glad to have you back checking out what we are up to. So yes, for the last 3 days it was the US12 garage sales going from Detroit to Chicago. So no, we did not go back and forth from Detroit to Chicago. So on this day, the first day that we went an hour towards the Chicago way, where there were plenty of sales to find. So you just had to decide, should I stop at this one? Should I stop at that one? So I'm going to just share some of the goodies that were out there, and then along with what I brought home and what Chris brought home, along with a few little makeovers at the end. So the part of going garage sailing is kind of like going secondhand shopping. You have no idea what you're going to find. You know what you like, but you just don't know what you're going to find and if it's going to be cost efficient to pick up or not. So yes, I love to find things that I can make. And if you've been following our channel for the last few episodes of Thrift Hauls, you know that I've shared that we've been selling on Whatnot and doing weekly sales. So yeah, I was hoping to, I've got a lot of feedback of people trying to figure out what Whatnot is and how to get on. So I will share that with the video, in this video with you all after I share the goodies that I found on our first day of the US12 garage sales. So these items brought me to that because a lot of these items are what I picked up. They are just resale items. They're items that I'm like, oh, I could keep these for myself, or I can sell these in my booth, or I can put them up on Whatnot. Oh, I am a fan of pottery, so I picked up this beautiful pottery piece. And some of them were donations, or some people had the tables marked off $1, $2, $3, $5, you know, so some people tried to keep it really simple. Some have price tags, some don't have price tags. So I'll just have to share with you what I got because I'm not sure if I remember what the price is, but just this cute, beautiful handmade. It's signed with a fish and the letter B. I love handmade pottery pieces, so this is absolutely gorgeous. And then sticking with the pottery, here is another piece. Now this is a coffee cup or a little cup, teacup, whatever it is that you drink. I love the handle. It's actually comfortable, so you could definitely drink out of it. It is also has a signature on it. So one of the things I do look as a reseller is it signed, is it stamped by the artist, because people really like those kind of pieces. Then that has a little duck on it, so that also attracted me to this piece. And I think most of my pieces were under $3 most of the time. And now going on to another pottery piece, was this little, it's just a little container. It has a lid. I'm trying to be really good to look for no chips, cracks, anything like that. Somebody had already put felt on the bottom, and it is signed by the artist. I love that it had a lid. Just a beautifully well done piece. Look at that bird. Oh my goodness. Cute little, I think, yep, there's one on each side. They're just a little bit different when you get those handmade pieces. And I have another pottery piece. Yet again, it is signed. And it's just got these beautiful turquoisey bluish green leaves, dots. I'm not sure. I'm going to call it leaves. And then it's got, so I will say that these are like yellow flowers, which it could be just a dot pattern, but just beautiful, beautiful glaze on that. Just a nice little trinket. And sticking with the pottery. I love pottery. Now this is signed Mexico with probably the artist's signature. Just a beautiful piece. Look at that. Just gorgeous. And as you see, I did get this one for $1. So I absolutely love it. I don't know if you could put napkins in it, or if I say just a shelf sitter, but just see those details. Just gorgeous. On both sides, it is gorgeous. And then there was another one that was similar, but it was a bell. So this one was 50 cents. So this is beautiful. It's got that cactus and some mountains on it. There's no chips or cracks. Got a nice little bell system with a piece of coppery metal. There's the signature of who made it, which is really hard to see. Oh, it said the Boot Hills of Arizona. So now that I've made my way through the pottery pieces, we'll get into some glass pieces. And actually the first piece that I found was this wonderful blue, cobalt blue. I'm not sure if it is Fenton. I don't know. It reminds me of the Bluebirds of Happiness, but it's a little squirrel. Oh my gosh, he's so cool. I think the lady said it was signed, but I don't necessarily see a signature, but maybe I need to look a little bit closer. But oh my gosh, is he not the cutest? And I've always seen the Bluebirds of Happiness, but I've never seen another animal in it. So that was way cool. Then, I love ironstone, so white pictures always catch my eye. Now this is not ironstone. So I actually found a little set. So I think these were $1, and I think maybe the squirrel was $2. So they have a tag on it. Apparently I should have my readers on when I'm doing this, but oh my gosh, but I'm matchy. So I love that this had a matching little set. And then going on matchy, one of the sales we went to had a bin of all these old bottles. So, and I believe they were $5 a piece, but I think I'm going to use these in my own decor. So I thought that was a good price. I kind of regret not picking up more now, but you're in the moment. It was one of the last sales. So I just picked out 2. And then at that same sale, we'll move on to some metals. She did have some metal flower frogs, and I've actually been looking for some for my own decor. This one has a $4 price tag on it. And then this one has a $12. So, which is about the antique store price. So I will be keeping these for myself, cleaning them out just a little bit, but I was excited. I don't run across flower frogs, especially the metal that I'm looking for, very often. So, And then another sale that we went to, they had this, I love animals, and it just caught my eye, this little metal penguin. And actually when I flipped it over looking for the price tag, it's a restoration hardware piece, so that's awesome. And this little penguin's in wonderful shape, and I believe this was only $1. So I also did find this little brass birdie. Look how sweet he is. I wish he had a friend, but it was just a single little birdie. 50 cents. That is wonderful garage sale prices. I just actually did, at the time I'm videoing this, I did a whatnot auction of brass that went really well. So if you were one of the buyers in that auction, thank you so much. Yes, I love brass and I appreciate it. So I'm glad that I had a lot of people that were interested in that. So now we're gonna change over from all the delicate items, well, not so much the metals, but into some of the items that are a little bit, yes, more rusty crusty. So right off the bat, this is it just a funnel? I don't know. I've seen these. I'm keeping this for myself. I am galvanized, and I thought, what a nice texture to my display that I kind of have planned for fall on my front porch. So hopefully I could share that with you all. It was $10. So that is actually the cheapest that I've actually seen these. Usually I see them about $35 to $28. So I did grab that up at a $10 price tag. And then along with this old gas can, this was $5, and like I said, I have a smaller one, so for some height in my display. I knew that I wanted, because I like to, if you saw my outdoor area, I like to plant and display with galvanized because it just gets rustier and crustier over time. And I did buy stars sell really well for me, and I'm down to one. So I was happy to run across. Now this one was $3. Now this size in my booth I would sell for $9. If I painted it, I'd probably do $12, but I'll probably just spray some sealer on it for the next person, clean it up a little bit, spray some exterior sealer on there, and for $3, I think it's a gorgeous little rusty crusty star. Got a grouping of stars. So I got this whole grouping for $5, a whole bunch of different sizes. Now I picked up this little box for a couple bucks. I thought, wow, this is a perfect little wood piece. I could add some verbiage, I could add some decoupage paper on this, so I'll be making this one over. And then there were these little boards, and this one was part of a donation. You donated, so I think I gave her $1 a piece for these boards. They're just little Hobby Lobby, but I'll probably do a little bit more farmhouse, so we'll see how they stand. And then my last item, it's funny because you're shopping. I mean, I think we were shopping from 8 in the morning to like 4:30 in the afternoon, and you think, oh, I should just get so much, but the drive in between and some of the garage sales you don't see and you do see, and you leave with stuff, or you leave with stuff, or you don't leave with stuff. But the last thing that I got was this crock, and it was only $5. Some beautiful blue. It's got stamp on it. I'll definitely be reselling this one. Flowers came with it, but I'll probably sell it as is. So I thought, what a nice find. So next up will be Chris, and he's going to share with you the items that he found. Him and Alex actually will be getting a booth together. Alex is going to have like 3/4 of the booth, and then Chris is going to have like a little tool section. Not because I'm kicking Chris out of my booth by any means, just to help Alex out. You know, a 21-year-old kid getting his first booth, and I gave Alex a section of my booth, if you all know that, to sell some of his glassware, which now has me buying glassware. But so I do have a few items that I will make over and throw in the end of the video, but right now Chris is going to share what he got at today's garage sales.
Most of the stuff that I got was tools, and I got some toys and stuff too. First thing that I got, and I can't really tell you what spot we stopped at, because it was just, you drive 5 foot and you'd stop, you drive 5 foot and you'd stop. I mean, it was just crazy how many garage sales there were. But Yvonne did find this old pulley, so I picked that up. Some more old tools, just a little saw. Then there was some hand tools also there. So just a little tack hammer, and then a few little pliers. Went to another place that was donations, and I was able to pick up this tape measure. It's actually got some information on it. It looks like it was signed for somebody. Also, they had some Allen keys. Everybody can use those. These are newer, so I would not be selling those. These will actually be in my collection. And then they had 2 old rusty picks, just the heads to them. But I think when I cleaned those up, those look pretty nice. Probably the best score that I got though, and I'll pull this back out so you can see it, was this old toolbox. So it was a carpenter's toolbox that a guy must have used for his own living. And as you can see, it's got his saw in there, still some of his old files, set of screwdrivers that he used, and then this tray you can pull out. And that's where he kept like his auger bits. He also had a bunch of other drill bits in here. Some cat dies equipment. So that was pretty much the tools that I got. All right, so the toys that I got, Alex pointed these out. This is He-Man stuff. I actually had this when I was probably 8 years old. I'm not sure if it's the original ones or if this is a newer model or whatever. I had a couple of figures that came with it, and then here is another one. This is also the He-Man collection, I believe. We looked them up fairly quickly, and they do sell for pretty decent on eBay, so that is where they will be going. That was having the sale, it was an estate sale for her late parents. They had these Burger King glasses that you used to be able to get in the day, and this is the Empire Strikes Back edition. And they had the whole set of all 4 of them. A couple of duplicates, as you can see. But they were all $2 each, so I jumped on those. And those will be going on eBay also, where I can sell some tools and some manly things. Is a shaving kit right here. And I do have a couple other of these razors, the old style ones, and some brushes. Now, this is the limited edition number 3. I actually have 1, 2, 4, and 5. So I was so happy to find this. I actually have the boxes too to them. They're not super expensive or anything, but to be able to complete a set is always nice to find. At the donation sale, going back to that one where I got the some of the tools, they also had a couple other beer mugs. This is the Busch Inn, and then this is a Anheuser-Busch. It's a Bud Light. I normally don't get those, but maybe I'll sell that in the booth. Also, it's kind of nice with the Stein on the top. And the last thing that I got at the estate sale was a tackle box. I don't know if you guys have been to any auctions, but around here, people love to fish. So whenever I can get a tackle box, I'll pick that up. I can put this on Marketplace and probably sell it for 20-25 bucks. All right, that is the rest of my haul. So back to Yvonne.
So we're gonna kind of show you on an iPhone how to get to whatnot. So Chris is just gonna open his app. He's going to type in his search bar, whatnot, and it's all one word, no hyphen in between. And now all he's gonna do is just push the download, double click on his side to install. Just download. Yep, so now it's just downloading. It's just going to show up on his screen. Then he can open it up, but then he will need to make a username, sign up, sign in, the whole thing. So we got all logged in, he got his username set up, and so now it's going to ask him what he is interested in. And our category is the vintage category on Whatnot, which is new. Vintage decor is what my category is called. So then it'll open it up, vintage decor, estate sales. You can select more than one. So this is what your screen will look like because he pushed in estate sales and vintage decor.
Oops, no spaces, right?
No spaces. Okay, there we go. He did find me. So now see, this is what my auctions will come up and look like. So I'll have a couple ahead, so you know what I'm going to be selling and the dates and the time. You can set up to get notifications by hitting the little button on the side that turns yellow. So yeah. So it's just, as he clicks on it, it'll just ask him for he won't be able to do too much until he puts some info in, but that's what it will look like. So plain and simply. And then when you go to bid, after you get all that logged in, if you're interested, yeah, and then it's not like an online Facebook or Instagram where you type in the number. There's actually a bid button that you hit. So I hope you all come over to Whatnot and check us out. So, and if you were wondering, of course, I could not leave garage sales without a few windows. So I tried to pick out from these three at that one barn sale. That was the only thing we got. Try not to. 3 different windows. So this had the 3 slat. This one is a little bit smaller and it pulls down this way. And then the bottom one, which this window pulls down. It's fun to look for windows that go different ways, so that you can make over in different ways. So it was kind of nice to be able to pick out 3 different windows from that sale. So yes, I'm going to share the windows in a separate video to come. They take a lot longer to make over. So first off, on today's makeovers, I'm going to start off with these metal stars, getting all the tags taken off. Now when it comes to metals, you want to make sure that they are really clean so that the paint adheres properly. So I always start off with the back side, then work towards the front side, and then you also want to make sure that they are completely dry before moving on to painting them. I do notice that a lot of people buy the metal stars to put outside. So I've actually switched over to the farm implement paint, which is a tad bit shinier than the flat Rust-Oleum I usually use, but this is safe for outdoors, so it protects against the weather and rust. So I switch back and forth. I really do just white and black stars. So just depending on what I have in my inventory is what I create. And yeah, like I said, I'm down to only 1 right now. And for this one that's already rusty and beautiful, I'm just going to seal it in with the weather defense. This is outdoor safe. Now this one will need 2 coats on the front and back to protect it. Let's see what we can do with these little cutting boards. Well, first off, I took that nautical rope, is what I always call it, that big chunky rope off. And now I'm trying to take that other little piece of wood that's kind of weird looking at the top. At first, I used the Japanese saw, but I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to take forever. So I'm like, what other tool can I use? So I quickly went over to the bandsaw to cut that extra piece off. So now I need to take some sandpaper. I'm going to use my Orbital sander to blend that all together, trying to round that off and then give it the same kind of carving technique. This one almost is made to appear that it's been hand carved. So I'm going to try to match it the best as I can using the Orbital sander. And then I'll kind of sand it a little bit, let some of that natural come through. I don't plan on staining these. I already like the patina that is on there, but if I just sand it down to some of that natural, like how I cut off that top, I should be able to blend it all together. And I decided I wanted to add a little something to them. So I went into our stash of metals and knobs, and there's a lot of those knobs that have the additive behind it for decoration. So I I was kind of playing around, but you just, your eye knows when your eye knows. So I like those, but I didn't love those two, but I absolutely did like that little white flower looking one. Now next is just this little box, and it's just one of those manufactured pieces, but I absolutely love the color of the wood. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the tag off, get it cleaned up, and then we're going to do a little something something on this box. When I was playing around with the metals on the other two cutting boards, I really liked this metal. So your thought is always on your next project when you're working on a project. So I'm like, hey, I wonder how that would look on, yes, this little box. But I would like to make it not be so brown. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the Ebony Rub and Buff. So I'm just using a stencil brush to apply the Ebony Rub and Buff. And then I'll take a paper towel and buff some of it off. I actually would like some of the brown to show through so it kind of has a distressed look to this metal. And then now I need to go to my screws because this hardware didn't have any, and I want to make sure the screws do not go all the way through to the inside of the box. So I'm just gauging what size screw. You can buy boxes like this that have different assortments in it off of Amazon. It's nice to have around because it's already black, and then you don't have to paint them black to hide them. The middle feature was nice, but I just didn't feel like it was complete. I felt like it could use a little more. So I'm still working on some of this IOD transfers, which you know that it's an older version because it comes in the roll. So I'm just looking to see if there's any pieces and parts that I could use on this box just to give it some wording. People just love those wooden boxes with that old wording. Sooner or later, I'm going to find something that this market will fit on. Every time I try to use it, it just is too big. But I finally decided on this ornamental saying. I'm not really sure if it goes with anything, but it's just some black wording to go onto the box. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Yep, this was part 1 of the garage sales. I hope that you enjoyed seeing a little bit of what was out there on what we found and brought home to resell, and along with a few little makeovers that I added into the end. Thanks again for watching, and if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you are new and you're checking out this content for the first time and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know when we've uploaded a new video, and we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye!